Sebab if you don't register in here, then you will not be going. So kita punya YouTube akan masuk ke Alisa? Okay. Let's start lah dengan dia punya the run of the intro. Run a few times of the intro until pukul 2 tepat dan kita Okay, Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. Welcome everyone to the episode 3 of Sembang Chillex Kejuruteraan Bersama IEM. Terima kasih kepada semua yang online ketika ini. Selamat datang again to this program di mana kita akan mengutarakan tema engineering career in the oil and gas industry dalam episod ketiga ini. Terima kasih banyak-banyak kepada Board of Engineers Malaysia kerana support program ini. As you can see dalam kita punya video tadi. So Sembang Chillex Kejuruteraan Bersama IEM adalah program yang kami buat sebagai salah satu program IEM Meets the Public. Kami utamakan anak-anak yang Form 4, Form 5 dan pelajar-pelajar universiti lah. So mana-mana yang baru nak belajar, yang nak tahu apa kejuruteraan itu, program Sembang Chillex Kejuruteraan Bersama IEM ini akan menolong anda dalam mengetahui sebersedikit. Kita akan bawakan jurutera-jurutera, technician dan teknologis untuk bersembang dalam program ini. So kalau mana-mana yang terlepas nak tengok episod 1 engineering profession secara generalnya dan episod 2 perbezaan antara engineering technician, engineering technologist dan engineer, bolehlah ke IEM YouTube channel yang kita ada. So alang-alang dah pergi situ, you all klik lah subscribe kita punya YouTube channel so that dapat notification kalau ada video-video baru yang kita buat. Kita sembang-sembang, relax-relax selepas lunch ni dan sambil mengetahui sebersedikit tentang engineering, kejuruteraan. Jangan tertidur pula ya. So kita akan gunakan bahasa rojak saja. So tak kisahlah kau nak tanya soalan dalam bahasa Malaysia ke bahasa Inggeris ke apa pun boleh. So make use of kalau siapa yang on the Zoom punya platform boleh, siapa yang on the YouTube live tu, thank you for all yang just online dalam YouTube live. So you all boleh keep on asking question dekat dalam chat room dekat situ ya. So sebelum tu, saya Razak Yaakob selaku moderator untuk episod ni. I am an engineering consultant for more than 20 years dan chairman untuk Oil, Gas and Mining Technical Division of IEM. So, dan bersama saya hari ini moderator juga adalah Aisyah. So saya pass pada Aisyah. Yes, Aisyah.
Yeah,
mana?
Sembang Chillex. Yo, what's up? Okay, Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to all of you. Okay, my name is Aisyah and I am moderator number 2 lah kan. Itulah engineer tu tengah on the way ni, tengah buat report ni hari-hari.
Professional tak apa, kemudian sekali yang penting je you are there.
Okay, go. Okay, first, without further ado, I would like to introduce one of the panelists, Engineer Dr. Jayanti Ramasamy. Please introduce yourself.
Hi. You can call me short lah, Dr. J. So
okay, Dr. J.
Yeah, senang lah sikit. So my background, graduated as a petroleum engineer and started maybe 15 years ago as a drilling engineer. Had like a 3 years run. After that, I moved from drilling to subsea. So I'm the subsea manager now for one of the Malaysian oil and gas company lah here in Malaysia.
Oh, okay. Subsea manager tu 15 years of working dah jadi manager lah ke?
Yelah tu.
Nanti kita dengar dia punya cerita yang lebih panjang lagi, liku-liku hidup dia sebagai seorang ni
Okey, tak apa. Kita share lagi liku-liku hidup yang selepas ini. Yeah. Our next panelist is Engineer Dr. Davendran. Please,
Hello. Hi, good afternoon.
Hi.
My name is Dave. Panggil saya Dave je. Right. I'm currently a discipline manager with SPM. So I've been in the industry for like 14 to 15 years. Right. So actually oil and gas is my first job right after graduate lah. Right. So yep. So that's a bit about me. So yep. We will get to know more later.
Okay,
Right.
okay. Thank you Dr. Dave. Banyak sangat ni
Yep.
engineer, doktor. Osh,
Panggil Dave
hebat
je,
betul.
panggil Dave je.
Segan. Okay, next we have engineer Lee Chang Kwan. Please sir, introduce yourself.
Hello, good afternoon. Salam sejahtera. My name is Lee Chang Kwan. You can just call me Lee in this session just to make it short. Okay, I am a mechanical engineer and more than 10 years of experience in the oil and gas industry. Throughout my whole exposure of, my career experience, jumping here and there throughout various roles and disciplines and also responsibility. So I'm currently looking after one of the national oil company's downstream business, looking after the asset performance. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sounds complicated.
Orang
Tak apa.
Petronas. Ah.
Petronas. Okay. So, last but not least, our youngest panelist for today, Mr. Naveen.
Hi everyone. As stated, my name is Naveen. I'm a graduate from Unit 10 as a mechanical engineer. I'm currently working with as a project engineer with Dialog. I'm new to this field, just about 3 years in this field currently, and hope to learn a lot more from all my seniors that are in these panels here today.
And David is over at the site tu. So itu pasal dia pakai coverall semua. Nanti kita akan dengar macam mana Naveen punya kerja. So dekat bila masa muda-muda ni kenalah ke site. So kenalah ke platform.
You dah tak larat dah kan?
Janganlah, kita muda lagi.
Bila pergi site tu yang itu yang peluang untuk belajar.
Betul. Selalunya kalau when you are young and then you energetic, you experience dekat site tu sangat-sangat berbaloi untuk your career pada masa akan datang lah. Ya.
So siapa yang baru start kerja tu, siapa nak pergi offshore? Angkat tangan Okay, Engineer Razak. The mic pass to you.
So, kita teruskan. Let's get to know a little bit more about, why basically you choose to be in the oil and gas industry. Is it accidental that you come into oil and gas industry? Because for me, it's not a choice because I took petroleum engineering as my degree. So I am in the oil and gas industry just like I wanted. So let's talk to our youngest member over here, Naveen. How did you get into the oil and gas industry?
Cuba cerita.
How it's like everyone, I applied through LinkedIn and JobStreet. I got it, but before I came into oil and gas, I was actually in the marine industry. So I was working in Sabah for 2 years before I came into oil and gas. As to why I choose engineering in oil and gas is, I believe it was a big hoo-ha when I was in university, where people say, "Oh, it's very famous working in oil and gas." So I was dragged along with that saying and everything. So I tried looking into it and trying to get into oil and gas. As time goes on, when I was in the university, I read quite a bit of it, and I've always wanted to go on an offshore platform. So thank God I managed to go on a platform in Myanmar. That was my first ever platform in Myanmar, and first ever job on an offshore platform in Myanmar. And
How long you were there?
I was there for at least 2 months.
Oi, 2 bulan.
Yes, 2 months. And I was there during the Myanmar coup.
Oh, did you miss? Okay, tell us a little bit about your experience offshore. There were 2 months over there, and did you miss the land?
For sure. Initially, I was very excited. First 2-3 weeks, I was very excited being offshore because it's a new experience for me. So yeah, it was very exciting at first, and as time goes by, I started missing my family and all that. So it comes with a job, so you tend to be away from your family if you're looking into oil and gas. Yeah.
But you think that is you like what you do right now?
Yeah, I do love what I do right now. I'm actually like discovering new things about myself. Like I said, I'm in a project management side of discipline, so I tend to learn a few things now and then from my seniors, from my bosses, and all that. The most important thing I feel in being a project management field is how you interact with the clients. So
True.
that is very important. So that is where you can learn a lot and create new networks along the way.
So sekarang ni you're offshore ke?
No. I'm
Oh.
currently onshore in onshore job in Pengerang.
Oh, so ni lari kejap-kejap ke?
Yes. So I get
Tak apa,
to
sekejap je. Kita punya program ni to 2 to 3 o'clock only. So sikit.
Okay, thank you very much, Naveen.
No problem.
Okay. Next, we're gonna ask engineer Dr. Dave. So, how do you how do you start your career as an engineer in the oil and gas industry?
Okay, to be honest, my first exposure to the thought of career is from a career week organized in my university in Unit 10. So during the session, we had many companies from oil and gas industries, Shell, Petronas, Schlumberger. So they were invited as guests to come and share insight about this career in this industry. Right, and that's where I got my first job as well. But from all this sharing, right, by these companies, I felt so connected to this industry because this industry has a good demand for hands-on skill, right, and also technology advancement, right. It has a good mixture of both. So in fact, this industry has pioneered many advancements, like even the latest buzzword digitalization started in oil and gas like 20 years ago. So that's how I actually end up from a campus interview, right? But I would like to share something a bit funny here with my first job, right? So after the campus interview, 10 of us were selected to join the company, but they said you must go for the second interview in the company to meet the CEO, right? So semangat lah. So second interview pergi jumpa CEO, then he asked me to explain what my passion and all. So I start talking about oil and gas, offshore and all this thing. And out of the 10 people, only 9 got the job. I didn't get the job. Right? So when I contact them back, then they say that as an engineering company, we don't do much of an offshore job. Right? Probably you don't fit. Like that's when I realized that this oil and gas industry is actually big, right? So we cannot always associate offshore with oil and gas industry. So if some of you here who have joined us here, who has this fright over going offshore, nak pergi platform and all, you can still join this industry, right? It's still, there's engineering in it, there's construction. So that's a bit of a sharing lah, right? Jangan kita selalu semangat nak pergi offshore je kan. Right. So,
Rasa betul, Dave. I totally agree with you. In fact, if I wanted to take a look at, my 20+ years of experience, very small amount that I have to go offshore, and whenever that I have to go offshore, that is when the learning comes in. Because you need to know the things that you will ask other people to do. So kalau I nanti buat procedure ke, buat instruction untuk to work ke, I must know about it first kan. So kalau tak pernah pergi offshore, then kau nak tunjuk pandai-pandai pula kan.
Yep, true. Agree.
Can I just add in
yes, go ahead.
Like engineer Dave said, like I told before this, it's my first time this year. When I went for an interview, I told, like engineer Dave, I told to the interviewers that I like to go offshore and everything, but they replied me back that there won't be much opportunities to go offshore. But I still, okay, they asked me whether you're still okay with doing onshore jobs. I said, okay, I'll just take it with a pinch of salt. I believe that one day I will be going to offshore. So that's why I'm currently in the oil and gas also, waiting for a chance, and I got my chance.
Well, setengah suka, setengah tak suka. So apa-apa pun, whether they like it or not, you know, some of the job does not require you to go offshore. Some of the job require you to go offshore. So there's a lot that oil and gas can actually offer you. Back to you, Aisyah.
Oh, okay. So, next. Siapa next mangsa saya? Cik, tak ada lah. Next. Okay, Dr. J. During your 20 years, okay, in your career progression to where you are now as a subsea manager, what is your biggest challenge that you have ever faced and how you encounter it?
Oh, soalan tu besar lah. Very big question. I don't know where to start, where to end, to be honest.
Okay lah, masa you okay, since kita punya penonton ni ramai yang muda-muda, adik-adik form 4, form 5. Okay lah, masa you during your early years lah.
Earliest tu,
Yep.
Challenges tu menampak macam kita ni, kita kan budak kampung kan. Kita, I mean, I
dari
can tell.
mana?
Actually, I'm from Cayman Islands. So, and I grew up in tea plantation lah. So my parents were tea plantation labourers. So I memang betul-betul kampung. Don't know the outside world. I somehow, after my SPM, I managed to go to university. I wanted to do chemical engineering, end up with petroleum engineering lah, because same faculty. So I'm an accidental discovery to oil and gas lah.
So bila ada peluang tu kita ambil je lah.
Betul. That's what it is.
Tapi masa kita dulu masuk kursus kan, like everybody say you're going to fill up petrol at petrol station lah. So,
actually masa-masa tu, you know, people do not know what petroleum engineering is all about kan. But well,
masa-masa tu bila tu 19 berapa tu?
2000 lah, year 2000, 20 years ago. Like people will wonder, even one time I was working for Shell, people will come and say, ask, which petrol station is that? Which Shell station you are working at? So that's how it used to be in the perception, you know. But of course, 20 years now, things has changed. So I think for a lot of people, I don't know where our audience are, but when you are kat sekolah kat kampung and you feel this world out there, people know more than you. You always have the fear of, okay, I'm not good enough. I'm bahasa lah, kalang kabut. Dah lah kita dari bahasa Melayu pergi bahasa Inggeris, habis universiti masuk, tengok Mat Saleh, semua gelang kabut. You have a lot of fear in us, you know, like, kita ni tak bagus kot, nanti orang suruh buat kerja kan tak bagus kan. It's always the fear, the little fear, like it's the butterflies like in your tummy. But
so how do you overcome the fear?
But after some time, I think people talk about offshore kan. My first week I was in office, my superintendent called me. He said, you pergi buat you punya boss the offshore survival lah. Dia cakap, kalau you nak pergi offshore, pergi buat offshore survival. Within 1 week, I went to do my offshore survival. The second week, I was sent to offshore drilling rig lah, jackup rigs.
Oh, dekat mana tu?
I was in somewhere here lah, Kerteh Kemaman. So back then, shallow waters lah, jackup rigs. And it's quite a fearful days lah, because under a man and you're only female out there. And it's a lot of a noise. People will tell you a lot of the things that puts you down, you know. Like you wonder your choice is right or not, what you're doing is right or not. There's always doubting your ability. Can you sail through this moment or not? Then little by little, you learn and deliver, and you learn more and deliver, and sometimes people wonder, is she capable to do this job or not? So oil and gas ni, you are holding a lot of safety issues, you know, in your hand. You can design accordingly. You need to execute offshore work. So people always say, is she good enough? There's always doubting points where once you deliver, people shut their mouth. So because kita mula-mula kita tak expose, and then kita get experience, and slowly you build your career, you know. Like it's not happen overnight.
Oh, so
So I think
you did extra work, you buat your homework, of course lah kan.
yes, it's almost you need to give more lah what you needed by your job. So you stay back late. I'm not saying it's not all the days. Sometimes even my earlier days in my career, I was as a drilling engineer. So I did 2 weeks on the rig and 2 weeks back to land, and within 2 weeks, 1 week back to office, and I get a 1 week off. But when you start having your family and you are growing, you need to start thinking, is this sensible for you to be out there? So I did a little bit of a career move. From drilling, I end up in subsea lah. So that how I progressed from drilling to be a subsea.
But I think issue yang Dr. J have ni, it's actually common. That's why kalau macam drilling rig, kalau pergi offshore tu, kalau kita ada engineer wanita pergi ke offshore, then kita akan allocatekan satu room untuk dia. So because yang lain-lain semua lelaki kan, so dia tak share room dengan sesiapa.
I can tell you something, Raza. I think that was the limitation back then. They always have concern about female going offshore. My first assignment, I was put in night shift. Okay, and night shift, because they don't have extra cabin like single female cabin. I was sharing room with my drilling night drilling superintendent. Same time we out, same time we go in. And I don't even have a curtain for my bunk, you know, back then. And after 1 year, Simon P asked, why you didn't ask for curtain? I didn't know that I can't ask for curtain, you know, for my bunk.
Actually, you know, for drilling rigs, we have curtains, but probably during your time tu tak ada lagi lah, you know. Tak apa. I think the situation is getting better and better. Go ahead.
May I chip in on this one? I think
yes.
Looking into Malaysia, there are more and more female students enrolling in STEM, as in engineering and so on. This is a rising trend. Yeah, of course, back in 20 years back, 30 years back, we can't see that yet. But with the growing trend, more graduates, engineering graduates coming from female and so on, the companies out there, oil and gas companies out there, they have to change. There's no doubt about it. So, for example, in my company, I entered the workforce back in 2015. At the time, people was already talking about there'll be more female engineers coming in, joining the workforce. So the company need to accommodate and need to make space for the female engineers to allow them a safe working space to work in the plant for them to progress. Yeah. So these are things that is happening, and it's keep on happening. So female engineers out there or students out there, don't worry. Oil and gas industry is not only for the male, it's not only for the female, whatever and so on. Yeah. If you are capable, just join the industry, then you'll be able to excel in your career. Yeah, that's what I want to share. Thank you.
Betul tu, kita patahkan skeptical tu. Join je, you suka you belajar. Tak payah sebab saya perempuan tak nak belajar. Dah tak ada dah benda tu.
Betul. Aisyah, how about your experience, Aisyah? You as a young engineer in the share a little bit probably.
I'm mostly office based. I've been to offshore only 2 weeks je. Yang tu pun rasa nak nangis dah.
Apa yang buat as a flow assurance engineer?
At that time I was a process engineer. Semangat sangat. Siapa nak pergi offshore? Teringin kan. But it was a good experience when you are in consultancy. You always work with the drawing engineer, semua paperwork. It's a really good thing whereby you can relate everything on paper to the real equipment. You tengok size ni apa 20 cubic meter of vessel. Tengok besar gabak macam ni. So you learn more, you understand more. Alhamdulillah, I got the opportunity 2 weeks lah, cukup lah. Lepas tu I relax je lah dekat office and then support support the site from office. Hello tu je lah.
But at least you know already what's going on over there. So whenever that you put together an advice over there, you know what you are saying lah. That's a good thing. Yeah. Go ahead, Aisyah.
Terima kasih interview saya pula. Kita patutnya interview.
Tak apalah, Sembang Chillex katanya.
Okay, Engineer Lee. Hai, ceritalah how's your daily work? How's your daily work life? Macam mana? Ceritalah. Tadi you cerita about your position pun macam terblur kejap. Macam cerita unblur me.
Okay, before I cerita pasal the daily life, I just want to ambil opportunity ni to clear out a few things lah. Oil and gas industry ni bukan saja offshore. Ya, kita ada onshore, kita ada offshore. Dan dia bukan saja offshore dengan onshore. Dia ada juga office space. Okay, contoh kita perlu engineering design office. Ya, so orang yang engineer yang buat design ni mereka akan berada dalam office. So tak ada bawa kerja bawah matahari ke dan sebagainya. Tak perlu ni. so ada kerja yang macam tu ya, based in office. So my first job is engineering design, so I work in office. Okay. Lepas tu tadi banyak cerita pasal offshore dan sebagainya. So biasanya in Malaysia biasanya kita kenal oil and gas ni dua saja, satu petrol station ataupun offshore. Tapi ada juga loji kilang petrochemical yang duduk onshore. Contoh kilang penapisan, ya, kilang proses gas, kilang LNG di Bintulu. Contoh ni adalah bahagian oil and gas industry yang onshore. So kalau takut keluar laut, tempat itulah dalam loji kilang-kilang boleh kerja.
Boleh duduk kat darat ya.
Betul, duduk darat lepas tu nak balik rumah tu boleh je kan. Okey, tapi dan apa yang lebih penting adalah bila kita kerja dalam oil and gas industry ni, kita sebenarnya menyumbang balik ke Malaysia. Ya, sebab oil dengan gas ni bawah tanah, bawah laut ni milik Malaysia punya. Kan? So kalau kita tak cari dia, tak gali dia, tak proses dia, dia akan duduk di situ saja. Tak ada duit. Kan? Tapi kita cari dia, kita gali dia, kita proses dia, kita jadikan oil and gas ni ke macam-macam petrochemical. Kerosene ke, jet oil ke, petrol minyak ke, dalam bentuk boleh proses lagi kepada ethylene ke, polyethylene ke, contoh-contoh yang pelbagai. So dari situ kita menyumbang balik ke negara. Ya, so itulah yang sumbangan daripada oil and gas industry. Okay, so kalau sebut pasal kehidupan harian, pekerjaan saya pertama tu saya sebagai design engineer. So masuk office je lah. Ya, 8, 5. Kalau 5 tu biasanya bukan 5 lah. Biasanya 5.5, 6, 7 dan sebagainya. So masa tu buat projek. Okay. So apa yang sebagai design engineer, apa yang dia buat? Tengok dokumen, tengok drawing, ya, lepas tu buat spesifikasi, so buat calculation, buatlah drawing contoh macam tu. Okay. So lepas tu saya ada peluang untuk join Petronas lah. Saya sebagai mechanical engineer. So apa yang saya buat masa tu projek, ya, nama panggil projek lah. Apa yang buat adalah buat pembaikan kepada equipment dalam loji. Okay. Contoh pump, contoh turbine yang biasa. Kalau tak tahu apa tu turbine tu biasanya untuk memacukan kapal terbang kan. Kapal terbang dia ada dua biji tu turbine, ya. Itu namanya turbine. Tapi turbine bukan saja boleh bawa kapal terbang. Turbine juga boleh letak di kilang untuk menjanakan elektrik ataupun memberikan kuasa. So kalau pelajar-pelajar yang suka pasal fizik, pasal pergerakan, ya, kalau engineering student yang suka pasal movement, motion, dari situlah you boleh jadi mechanical.
So jadi you rasa macam since kita ada adik-adik kita form 4, form 5, so if you rasa the most related topic subject from school and until you work now is apa? Physics ke, maths
Dulu
ke?
dulu saya ialah science stream lah kan, dalam science ada biology dan sebagainya. So masa tu I pun tak tahu lagi nak jadi engineer ke tidak. Okay. Then kalau nak jadi engineer pun engineer banyak cabang. Ada
Betul, betul
apa ni
tu.
apa ni chemical ke, civil ke dan sebagainya. So masa tu apa yang menarik perhatian saya untuk menjurus kepada mechanical engineer adalah minat saya pada apa ni fizik bahagian kenaan dengan force, daya, pergerakan. Nah, itu yang menarik perhatian saya. So
Dengar tu
itulah dia
adik-adik.
saya masuk menjurus kepada mechanical engineer.
Okey.
So balik kepada soalan tadi daily life, okay. So sekarang saya jaga apa ni logi punya dia punya prestasi.
Okey.
Okay. So saya tengok apa yang logi dia berapa yang dia boleh hasilkan minyak, berapa yang dia berhasilkan gas dan sebagainya. So dari situ tengok macam mana kita boleh menambah baikkan dia punya prestasi. So kerja yang saya buat sekarang bukan kepada baca dokumen ataupun apa ni buat drawing ataupun calculation, tapi lebih kepada meeting dengan orang kan, untuk mengetahui apa masalah yang mereka hadapi dalam logi, tengok equipment apa yang ada isu, ada apa ni equipment apa yang sepatutnya dia boleh menghasilkan 100 punya apa ni prestasi, tapi sekarang dia cuma ada 90 saja.
Kenapa dia
lebih
tak run max
betul.
capacity?
So nak cari macam mana nak menyelesaikan masalah tu supaya dia boleh dapat 100. Contoh macam tu.
Macam bos je.
Dia bos ke tak kisah siapa, tapi jurutera dia orang yang menyelesaikan masalah.
Bukan bos, big boss sekarang.
But that's the beauty
Big
of
boss did.
engineer.
Yes, that's the beauty
You
of
solve problem.
Solve problem dengan engineering knowledge, dengan the physics punya law. Ya, itulah engineer. Okay, terima kasih.
Terima kasih. Okay, terima kasih Engineer Lee. Okay, back to you Engineer Razak.
Well, kita tak dengar lagi apa-apa daripada Dave dan Navin about ni. Tapi kita tanya soalan-soalan yang berbeza sikit dengan diorang.
Kita ada lagi berapa minit? Kita ada lagi setengah jam untuk kita bersembang santai, relax. Yeah.
Tak apa, kita ada question juga daripada luar. That's good. Nanti kemudian kita addresskan question daripada luar. Buat masa sekarang ni, kita masih lagi getting to know about kita punya tetamu kita untuk hari ni. So kita nak tanya Dave. Dave, yep. You basically baru dapat PhD and all that. So why do you take the PhD, and is it really necessary in our line of work?
Okay. Basically, I didn't really take PhD. I buat engineering doctorate. Right, so engineering doctorate, it's a bit of not full research, but you have to do a bit of your, it's more like industrial PhD lah. Yeah, you can buat related to your industry. So the reason I took up engineering doctorate is because to stay aligned, and I seorang yang tak rajin sangat baca lah. Right, I mean you find it very funny, but I tak rajin baca suka-suka. So and then I have to enroll myself in this kind of courses. So when I enroll myself in these kind of courses, then I have to force myself to study. I have to make sure I stay aligned or stay with the latest development in the industry and see what's happening and all. So that is my personal push lah. So it's not really necessary, because if you see oil and gas, dia ada dua cabang. Right? Ada cabang yang kita, actually tiga lah. Ada satu cabang yang kita boleh jadi pure technical expert. Right, kita do more on technical thing, or you want to go into management, atau you want to go into something like a mixture yang macam I buat ni. Macam I ni sekarang is more into information management, data management. So dia more into something which is trendy now. Like now we have all these application software, it's all talking to each other. So like even though I'm engineering, my team consists of a lot of computer science students, right? So there's a lot of opportunities untuk yang ada you kalau minat in computer science and all this data related software application development programming, there's also a very good future in oil and gas industry, right? So that's something that I would like to share dengan our forum today lah, right?
Oh, you mean not only engineering background but computer science pun boleh juga
Yep, correct.
masuk.
I mean there is a
Actually
good demand for it.
semua apa ni boleh in any kind of discipline memang boleh masuk dalam engineering, dan juga kalau computer science and all that, kalau kita nak develop the software what not kan, so we do need all of that ni lah to work in our teams. Actually that is the answer to the question by Mr. Nur Naziman. He was asking about whether the CN or PhD is good investment in terms of money, time and energy, the oil and gas industry. So I hope that answers it. But I would
add
like
a bit.
Yeah,
I'd like to add a
go
bit,
ahead.
Nazar, on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, if you want to look at the return of investment in this industry, right, it's evolving, right? So you have to find a way to keep yourself ahead of all these developments, right? If you're not a person who can explore and read, then you have to take up some courses, some engineering courses, something to develop yourself, right? So that investment will definitely benefit you in terms of your career, right?
Betul. I think that in any industry, for example, we really have to keep on updating ourselves. Kita tak takut lama for a very long time. We update, like myself as well, from engineering, from being just engineer dengan design whatsoever, I go into project management. And I think I would like to hear from Dr. J as well, because Dr. J dia banyak cabang lagi. Let's hear from Dr. J. Macam mana cabang-cabang yang dia go in?
I think the question is whether it's worth the investment or not. Dapatkan IR, lepas you buat masters, lepas you buat PhD. I'll ask the person who asked this question, what is your objective? What is your motivation? Kalau kita cakap pasal duit, not necessarily you dapat master, PhD, oh here you come, you get promotion. That's not guarantee. I can tell you this upfront. Kalau you just not just sake of IR, doctorate, nak dapat extra money, you won't get extra money. So it's all experience and what you are delivering. End of the day, how you are actually getting your name wherever you are, either you are in a project management or you are in an engineering office or down there in a downstream or offshore. It's all technical experience and delivery. That's how they will look into you as a person and move you from one position to another position. For me personally, when I started IR, like very young, I started my job. I actually went into this IEM logbook scheme that we have for young graduate yang nak dapatkan professional engineer status. You datang 3 years, you buat logbook under a professional engineer mentorship. Lepas tu minimum 3 years, there's a requirement you need to fulfill. Lepas tu you boleh go for this assessment to get your professional engineer. That's what you need for minimum to be a professional engineer. Tapi kalau you nak buat masters, PhD, it's all personal satisfaction. Kalau kita hari-hari kita pergi kerja lah, 8 sampai 5, lepas tu kita kahwin, anak 2, anak 3, lepas tu dia orang besar. For me lah, as a lady, is that what I want? Hari-hari keluar masuk kerja, masak rumah, dia balik. That's it. Is that what I want in my life? So for me, that was not enough. So I don't want to be a typical housewife that going to office, that's it. So I was looking for what is going to fulfill myself. So that's where I end up doing masters, end up doing PhD. It's not easy. It's really challenging with a job, with a family at side to look after your parents, aging parents, a lot of conflicts, and then pas tu pergi offshore, come back, pick up things, and it's quite challenging. And it's all worth the effort when finally you finish it. But I won't say not for the money you invested. It's not about investment of money. It's an investment of your passion, your energy, and also, of course, love and the support of family. That you definitely need that. Otherwise, you are a dead fish in the water, lah. So
Yeah, I hear you.
May I add
Yes,
on that? Yep.
go ahead.
Yep. Investment ni, we know investment dia mungkin boleh dapat hasil, dia mungkin tak boleh dapat hasil. Tapi without investment, forget about everything. Yeah, because no investment, for sure hasil tak akan dapat. Okay. So macam Dr. J said, okay, it all goes back to you, the person, apa you nak. Yeah. So macam I pun, yeah, after I graduate, then I know what I want. I would like to pursue my IR. Walaupun kerja saya tak perlu IR. Okay. So I pursue with that. Lepas pursue IR, dapat IR. Oh, rupanya dia boleh bantu I untuk apa ni, dia boleh bantu kerja I. Okay. Dia boleh bantu I masa deal dengan orang-orang lain. Okay. Oh, rupanya dia boleh bantu. Okay. Dan lepas tu, I because of apa ni, macam yang Dr. J kata tu, self motivation. So I now get myself prepared untuk the next step. I'm MBA. Okay. So masa tu, kenapa nak pergi MBA? Tak semestinya jadi manager kan. Tapi itu investment. Yeah. So kalau you tak invest, memang tak ada lah. Yeah. So kalau you invest, mungkin akan dapat something. Mungkin. Yeah. Mungkin ada, mungkin tak ada. So contoh. Yeah. So we know investment tu, you know, no investment, no nothing else. Nothing. Yeah. Itu je nak share.
Okay, Aisyah, go ahead.
Wow, betul tu. I terasa inspired myself. Because normal, for me also, bila I rasa myself stagnant, because I'm in office based, hari-hari sama, I tahu I kena belajar something. I kena belajar something baru. Kena tahu something baru. Because knowledge it's vast. It's never ending. Yep. So always have make time to improve yourself. There's a lot of things to learn. Okay. Okay, all this. You guys are all amazing people lah. Okay. Who inspires you the most? Okay, I'm gonna start with Naveen lah. Naveen, who inspires you the most to become who you are right now?
I would say my family. Yeah, I will say my family because they give me the support to be away from them. Because most of the time I'm on projects, so my work relates mostly to projects. So I'll be in Penang, I'll be in Melaka, I'll be in Johor, I'll be in Terengganu. I'll be also going to Labuan and Sarawak and Bintulu and all the time. So most of the time I'll be spending away from family. So what keeps me going in my line of work is my family with their blessings and all that. My wife, my father, previously my mom. So and it's a difficult thing to be away from family. That's one thing. But with the support and care and loving from your family, you will be able to manage through all the difficult things you feel during your work and everything.
That's what keeps you going every day.
Yeah, correct.
Itulah.
Aisyah, kita ada question daripada Iqbal, and I think this one is directed to Lee dan juga Naveen. I would like to ask Lee and Naveen specifically for mechanical engineering graduate, what is the value and skill that is required for us to make a jump in to oil and gas? This comes from a mechanical engineering student, and I think it's a valid question. They wanted to know how you can make that jump into the oil and gas industry. Probably kita start dengan Lee.
I was hoping Naveen can provide that. Okay.
Boleh juga lah, Naveen.
Actually, I jumped from marine to oil and gas, but in terms of value and skill, once I jumped, then only I started improving myself. So initially, I didn't know what you need to have in oil and gas. Like now, initial stages, you'll need your OGSP card, your BOSET of offshore and all that. initially I didn't have any of that. Once I came into the industry, I started talking to my colleagues and all that, and from there I started, okay, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. Now in project management, I just completed a course in project management with Microsoft project. So it depends on your position, I believe. So if you want to really prepare in oil and gas after graduate, I don't. It depends on where you land in the oil and gas field. It can be different because there are upstream, downstream, midstream, and all that. So you have design of positions. You have people who are at site and people who project manage. So there's people who are planners. So each and every things, there are different values and skill. It's up to your interest first, then and you can see where you can go.
Yeah, that's very true. Is there anything that anyone would like to add to that question before we move to the next question?
I'd like to take it. I'd like to take it from two angles. The first angle is that assuming that you are in other industry now, and you want to make a jump into oil and gas industry as a mechanical engineer. So if this is the case, right? When we talk about engineering knowledge, engineering application is the same, regardless which industry you're in. Okay, the knowledge is fundamentally the same. Okay, so I myself have seen my colleagues, coming from other industry, from pump oil into oil and gas, ataupun from electronic, E&E semiconductor field into oil and gas. That can happen, because engineering knowledge is the same. The only difference is the environment. Itu saja. Okay, and from the the first angle. The second angle that I like to come into to answer this is that, like what Navin said, okay, and these are the same thing that I always share to the university student whenever I go. When you pursue a career, first, okay, you can think of two things, Either you choose an industry, then you explore the jobs in the industry, okay, or you choose a job profile, then only you choose the industry. For example, a design engineer, if your interest is in design, you don't like to go under the hot sun, whatever, and so on, under the site and so on. So you would like office space, so you would like to be in as a design engineer, okay, then you can choose whichever industry, okay. Oil and gas industry, for sure, there is also this kind of thing, okay. If you like sales, oil and gas industry also, we have sales engineer, we need people to do the marketing for the petroleums, the kerosenes, the chemicals, and so on. We need people to deal with other countries to do sales on our LNGs, something like that. So I just want to leave with all of us here to forward two angles to look into this one. Okay, thank you.
Okay, talking about industry, this is another question from Gabriel Lim. I'd like to ask, are jobs in oil and gas industry stable? Is it possible that during pandemic, some offshore platforms reduce their workforce due to lower demand for their products? Menarik soalan ni. So, kerja kita ni stable ke?
Anyone wants to answer that question, Ka?
Let me take that question.
Go ahead.
All right.
I think, thank you for question, Gabriel. I think what you're asking is real. I think now with the oil price 80 plus dollar barrel, the situation is different. I think we were in that hot spot. I think last year, March, April was the hot spot era where a lot of companies are shutting down, a lot of companies actually retrenched, a lot of people let go, which is true. Because if you look at the cycle, the oil and gas cycle goes up and down. So, but it is a personal question. It's almost how can you keep up your skills until people will value you. So even you lose your job one place, can you secure a job in another place? Okay, because it's not even, don't talk about oil and gas industry. Even you go and talk to banking, housing, oil palm. I think this question is actually related to every industry now. So it's how good you are with your job. Even one company let you go out, and how other companies see you as an asset, and they will definitely will take you in. So it's not about stability. Of course, the stability in the question, but it's more on how well you actually can deliver the same job compared to others. So I was there. I lost my job 2019. The company I was employed, they shut down the HQ in Malaysia. So I lost my job. But within a month, my actually ex-boss actually told some other people to, if any vacancy, let me know. So within a 1 week, from losing one job, I end up in another job. So I'm also victim of all this price up and down. So we all will come across this if you're an oil and gas. It's not job not guaranteed for life.
I hear you,
Yeah,
Dr. J. Memang betul. You know, in any industry for that matter, your job is not guaranteed for life. So it is up to you to make yourself valuable. If you can bring value to the organization, then you will be in demand. If you basically plan to just go into work every day and then just not doing anything extra, then probably you end up like one of the furniture in the office. So we do not want that. Yeah. Anything else I wanted to add from the panelists?
16 years ago, before I entered the workforce, this question was asked also in the career fair. That was 16 years back, and the oil price then was around 30 plus US dollar per barrel. Okay, it's quite low if we apply the current standard, right? And almost every year when I go into university, also this question was asked. Okay, so even 20 years back and so on, even until now, the same question is asked. Is oil and gas industry still relevant? What I would say is that it's still relevant. Yeah, but like what Dr. J said, the industry goes through the cycle. Yeah, when the cycle is quite bad, then of course the company have to survive, and then it goes some sort of restructuring and so on. And this is not only happening to oil and gas industry. I remember I think 2007, 8 or 9, something like that. The semicon industry also facing the same thing. Yeah, I have a lot of colleagues. I mean, my uni friend also facing the same problem. They got retrenched. Yeah, so it applies to oil industry. It's not for oil and gas industry only. Yeah, and now with the oil price going above 80, the companies are facing pressure to get people produced to meet the demand. Yeah, and looking forward, okay, of course people said now with the carbon the carbon commitment, whatever and so on, then oil and gas industry is doomed, right? Yeah, so we are looking forward to renewable energy and so on. Yes, the country or the world, we have to go along that direction, but we have to accept the fact that fossil fuel industry will still stay relevant at least for the next 2 decades. Yeah, because oil and gas is not only the one that you see, the petrol, your car petrol only. Yeah, we use oil gas to power up the energy, electricity. We use that to process further into a lot of chemicals and so on. So that's the opportunity that the people still can contribute in the industry. And also people in the industry also, we have to try to adapt and move towards reducing the carbon footprint, as well as to move along that renewable side.
Yeah, add a bit. 50
Oh yes,
years ago,
go ahead.
Like 50 years ago, they said that oil and gas will die off in 20 years. Right? And now I just started my career 15 years ago. And now also if you take up some studies, they'll say they will die off another 20 years. So risk is everywhere in every industry. So you cannot run away. You have to keep yourself relevant. So I think that's where IEM plays a big role. You can come in, you can get a lot of information. Let's say you want to shift careers, you want to come from one industry to another industry. The right part to meet the right people is organizations like this, right? You can come and meet people from other industry and get their views, how you can come in. So I would like to ask all of you here who's not after you graduate, please join IEM. Right?
Yes, I think that,
Yeah.
that is one thing that is good, that we basically have. If you plan to come into engineering, do join in an organization like IEM, where there is a support over there. About retraining yourself, I think it happens to everyone. For example, I am into the drilling engineering, but as the number of wells become lesser, then I go into the wells decommissioning, where we plug and abandon wells. So that is normal, because that is where your expertise, you shift your expertise so that you always will be in demand. Yeah.
Yep.
Again, as I mentioned, bring in values to the organization that you go in. Yeah. Back to you, Aisha.
Before join IEM, jangan lupa since our show here is supported by BEM, register dulu dengan BEM, Board of Engineers Malaysia, and then kita
Betul
join
sangat.
IEM.
Yep,
Betul.
definitely.
Betul.
Yeah,
So dekat IEM tu is once you graduated saja, you need to register yourself with Board of Engineers Malaysia, because all of the engineers in Malaysia need to be registered before they actually work. But you can join in IEM when you are doing an engineering course in the universities. Yeah.
Yep.
Kita dah buat ke semua question? We only have about 3 more minutes. There is actually one question yang daripada Arif Zainal about should
question
there
one,
be
yes.
transparent communication.
Oh, Engineer Razak, you tengah freeze pula. Am I the only one? Okay. Question
Same.
from Arif Zainal. Should there be transparent communications between end user, contractors, and vendors with respect to project execution? This is quite technical question. Nanti siapa-siapa tolong take contact Arif Zainal and then we reply to him personally. Okay. Oh, Engineer Razak tengah freeze lah dia. Aduh. Okay. Now we have 2 more minutes. So, anyone would like to say a couple of last words before we end up this show?
See, all of us are thinking after we get degree or masuk dapat degree, then we go to job, we all going to earn big money. Okay, I think a lot of adik-adik yang tengah dengar ke, or parents yang tengah dengar, that's not end of the story. It's a lot of learning, gaining exposure, and also we are Saturday, all of us are family, and all of us are doing this 1 hour streaming for giving back to society. There's another aspect that we have to reach out to friends and colleagues and outside our normal 8 to 5 working hours to do what is the best, for our careers and all that. So that must be a part of your learning process as well lah. So
Betul. Oh, Engineer Razak, you're back. Okay, we have 1 more minute to go.
So sorry about that. I think in IEM we totally lost the connection, and the internet just simply go down. So I am on the Wi-Fi of the phone right now.
Okay.
So anyway, we need to close it down. Just so Aisha, let's close it down because it's already 3 o'clock.
Oh, I dah wrap up dah tadi. Okay, don't forget to join us our next session, IEM Chillex Sembang with us. It will be a different session. Stay tuned to from our social media. We have Facebook, Instagram. We are everywhere. So
and join in our YouTube as well. For those who go inside the YouTube live today. So this is where you can go in and find the Sembang Chillex episode 4, which will be going on into the environmental. So let's thank our panelists today. We have Dr. J, Dr. Dave, Engineer Lee, and also Naveen. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank
back
you,
to
Engineer
Aisha.
Razak. Okay, thank you very much. And bye-bye. Stay on the next episode. Hey, hey.
Bye.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you semua.
Okay, thank you. Nice chat. Thanks,
All right.
everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Hi, thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Razak dah terkeluar juga lagi. Ingat Razak kadang-kadang dia nak tambah-tambah sikit lagi. Wrap up ke apa kan? Dah terkeluar. Okay, tak apalah.
Oh, we wait for him to come back.
Dia tengah ni ke? Fix server ke?
Tak ada foto ke?
Ha, itu dah.
Semua dah close camera lagi.
Ke tadi ada ni? Ada ambil gambar.
Razak dekat air dia. Foto? Ah, tak apa. Siapa the speaker lah. Arni boleh ambil gambar untuk the speaker. Itulah moderatornya tak ada ni. Razak dah WhatsApp aja. See you all next time. Apalah Arni boleh ambil gambar untuk yang the rest of the speaker lah for our report purpose kan. Thank you semua Dr. J, Dr. Dave, Naveen and Engineer Lee.
No
And
problem.
Aisyah pun dah keluar ya. Tak apa.
Aisyah pun sudah keluar. Tak apa.
Okay.
Penat kot.
Yalah. Okay.
Arni
Okay.
take over
Enjoy
ya.
weekend. Yep.
Okay.
Alright. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.